At the beginning of the story, we meet a mischievous boy named Theo. He often had others do his homework for him, luring him with video games. Even at home, he wouldn't enter his room from the front door, but from a window by climbing a pipe. One day, Theo went to the roof while eating a banana and suddenly threw the peel down. Suddenly, a portal opened, and the peel vanished into thin air. When Theo didn't hear the peel fall, he looked back. Confused, he went down to check if the peel was still there. Theo threw his roller skate down, and the same thing happened again. It also vanished into thin air. To Theo's astonishment, he threw a stone down, and the stone also vanished. He went to tell his older brother Oscar about the portal. They had lost their parents, so they lived with their grandmother. Well, at this point, Oscar was very angry with Theo because he had made paper rockets by tearing pages from some books written by their mother. Theo tried to explain that he had found a time portal, but Oscar thought Theo was joking. In reality, their mother had suddenly disappeared. While Theo thought she had run off with someone, Oscar believed she was a talented scientist who was researching time portals and was perhaps now trapped in another time. He wanted to understand her research and bring his mother back. The fight between the two brothers was escalating. Meanwhile, Grandma called them for something to eat. They both remained calm in front of Grandma. But as soon as Grandma left, the argument started again. Oscar angrily hurled a half-swear insult at Theo, after which Theo threw Oscar's turtle into the portal. Oscar, desperately searching for his beloved turtle, began putting up missing posters everywhere. Oscar was very close to that turtle. He would cry when separated from it. Theo soon realized his mistake and decided to jump into the portal to fix everything. Jumping into the portal, Theo also reached the place where everything he had thrown into the portal had been. The turtle was also there. Theo took the turtle home and put it back there, after which he went to sleep quietly. But the next morning, something very strange happened. Theo was still sleeping, but Oscar got ready for work. Oscar had now aged considerably. Theo had actually traveled from 1990 to 2022, where Oscar is a physics professor. Soon, Oscar went to buy some goods at a shop owned by a man named David. Shortly after, the shopkeeper's daughter, Elena, also arrived. David and Elena have been good friends for a long time. David had liked Elena since childhood, but he had never been able to tell her. Elena was divorced and now a mother of 2 children, but Oscar still had a deep love for her. Elena is an English professor at Oscar's university. At home, Theo woke up and went looking for Oscar. He picked up the turtle and went to his grandmother. Grandmother was now very old and didn't recognize Theo. When Oscar saw Theo, he was shocked and fainted. When Oscar regained consciousness, he asked, "Is it really you, Theo?" Theo was also confused. He asked Oscar, "Who are you? And how do you know my name?" Oscar replied, "I'm your older brother. Who else?" Theo was astonished to see how he had grown so much in just one day. After a short conversation, they realized that Theo had somehow reached 2022. They talked about the time when Oscar was angry at Theo for tearing up Mom's notes. Theo showed Oscar the picture of his mother in the red dress. Theo, now distraught, wanted to go back to 1992 because he was afraid Grandmother would yell at him if he was late. Theo went to the roof to jump back into the portal, but as soon as he threw the stone, it disappeared. This portal had closed in 2022. Theo became perplexed, wondering how it could have closed. Oscar explained that time travel isn't so straightforward. The portal that led you here doesn't necessarily lead back. Oscar decided to find a new portal to go back to 1990 from 2230. Gathering information, Oscar took Theo to his senior professor. He explained that science and technology had advanced significantly in 22C, but there was no such thing as a time portal. After listening to the professor, the 2 brothers returned. Theo was astonished by the modern world. He saw Oscar's phone and asked, "What is it?" Oscar explained, "It's a phone, but unlike old phones, it doesn't require dialing numbers. It doesn't have any wires." Oscar calmed Theo down, saying, "We should focus on finding the portal now."
"Do you want to go back to 1990? Then Theo told Oscar, "I need a handwritten note. I found a list in Mom's papers when I was tearing out the research pages and building a rocket.
I hid it in the dictionary to tease you. Maybe I'll find something in it." They both asked Grandma about the dictionary. Grandma told them she had given it to David. The next morning, Oscar told them he was going to meet David and told Theo to stay home and not go anywhere. But Theo quietly left the house and went to a big mall. Theo was completely amazed by the gadgets in the mall. Especially, he accidentally broke a VR headset while using it. Oscar was called there and had to pay for all the damage. Oscar scolded Theo for not listening, and then they both went to David's department store to find the dictionary. David told them he kept it at home. Just then, Elena arrived. Theo was very surprised how Elena had grown up to be so beautiful. Then Elena asked, "Who is this child? How does he know my name?" Oscar lied, saying he was his cousin's son. Oscar somehow changed the topic, and Elena invited them to her house, where her son and daughter were busy playing video games. Theo was impressed by the video games and started playing with Elena's son, Zan. Oscar found the list in the dictionary, so he told Theo it was time to go home. But Theo was having so much fun playing video games. Elena said, "Let him play for a while. I'll drop him off at your house." But while playing, Elena's children started making fun of Theo, saying he had no idea about today's video games. They even asked Alexa for the time. Back at the rooftop, Theo and Oscar got to work. Oscar explained that the list listed the locations of various portals. They tried to find the time portals by throwing objects at the indicated locations, but found nothing. Oscar realized he'd made a mistake in his calculations and began to recalculate them. During this time, Theo asked him why he was always alone and had no friends, and especially why he hadn't told Elena about his feelings until now. While doing his calculations, Oscar replied, "Even though Elena is divorced, I don't think things can work out between us." Without telling Oscar, Theo sent a message from Oscar's phone, inviting David, Elena, and Elena's children to his house for dinner. When they arrived, Oscar was shocked. Theo explained that he had called everyone and informed them, and Oscar understood his mischief. Their meeting brought Oscar and Elena closer, and the next day, Elena took Theo shopping to buy him new clothes. In the trial room, Theo, as usual, was providing humorous football commentary. This gesture reminded Elena of his actions, and she recognized it as Oscar's younger brother, Theo. She hugged Theo and asked, "Why haven't you aged even after being gone for so many years?" Theo explained that he had jumped into a time portal, which took him straight from 1990 to 2022. Elena couldn't believe it, but there was living proof. Elena asked Oscar to confirm. Oscar threw a stone from the roof, and this time it bounced back, indicating that a time portal was present. Oscar explained that there are 3 types of time portals. The first type allows direct travel from one time to another. The second type of portal can land you somewhere, and the third type is extremely dangerous because you can't escape. Theo had used the first type of portal to reach 2022, and now they had to find the right portal to send Theo back to 1990. They began conducting daily research, and Oscar began to enjoy Elena's daily visits. He danced happily alone. Together, they began searching for the correct portal. Elena wasn't too happy about sending Theo back to 1990, because changing the past might also change their future. Her children might never be born. She loved her children very much. But Oscar promised her that Theo's return wouldn't affect her life. He would do his best to ensure Elena's life wasn't tampered with. They began to wonder how to keep both timelines intact. Theo put his mind to it and enlisted the help of Elena's children to crack the coordinates his mother had written down. If he went to the past with their help, it would ensure they would be born in the future, because without them, he would never have been able to reach the past. Using the map, the 3 found a middle path which Theo believed was a time portal. With its help, he could return to 1990. Excited, Theo jumped into the water, and Brenda and Nathan reluctantly jumped in with him. Upon reaching shore, they were all surprised because the town they came from there were only mountains there now. This indicated that the city hadn't yet been settled there, meaning they had reached the past. But unfortunately, instead of 1990, they had traveled even further back to 1949. Now stranded in an unknown location, the 3 were trying to understand what had happened to them. They had used a different kind of portal, which transports them to any random time. Meanwhile, in 2022, a distraught Elena called Oscar to inform him that Theo and the 2 children were missing. Oscar explained that he had probably found the portal to 1990, and now Oscar and Elena would have to go there to retrieve them. In 1949, the 3 had no money. Their phones weren't working. Furthermore, the 3 children were now starving. That's when Brenda and Nathan thought they could use their gadgets to perform a mind-reading magic show. Nathan sat a little distance away, and Brenda closed her eyes. Theo wrote the names on a board and stood in front of them. Using wireless earphones, Nathan read the names to Brenda, and people thought it was magic. How could the girl say the names without seeing them? She must have some powers. The audience was delighted and applauded. This brought them money, but the police soon discovered the incident. Doing such things in public without permission was prohibited. As soon as Theo saw the police approaching, he signaled his companions to flee, and the three immediately left. While fleeing, an unknown man kidnapped them and took them to an unknown location, putting their lives in even greater danger. Meanwhile, in 2022, Theo and Elena found the entry to the portal to 1990. They held hands and jumped through the portal. Elena felt like she was dreaming, having actually traveled through time. In 1990, missing posters for Theo were everywhere. In 1949, a man kidnapped children and brought them to a gang that was against the government. The gang leader asked why he brought them there. The man told him that they knew the gang's secret code. Confused, Theo asked what the secret code word was. The man explained that the whistle Theo used to escape from the police was the gang's code word. This whistle was taught to Theo by his grandmother. Just then, a young woman from the gang arrived. This was Theo's grandmother when she was young. Theo learned that his grandmother had once been a member of the gang. She was the one who learned to whistle, and from her, Theo didn't tell anyone that she was his grandmother because everyone thought he was crazy, but he embraced this woman. This gang is against the government, but works for the welfare of the people and had no intention of harming these children. That's why the three of them are safe there for now. Meanwhile, in 1990, Oscar and Elena were searching for the children at Oscar's house, but no one was there. Suddenly, they heard a voice, and they hid in the cupboard. It was little Oscar, crying in grief over Theo's loss. Oscar, who had come from the future, was deeply saddened by this. In 1949, the three children had begun to adjust to the gang's lifestyle, realizing they couldn't go back through the portal they had come from. Theo's young grandmother was also with them, so Theo wasn't having much difficulty adapting. Theo, seizing the opportunity, spoke to his grandmother. He told his grandmother to take a photo with him and to keep it forever. Even when you grow old, frame it and keep it. This caused a sudden change in his grandmother's photo frame in 1990. Now, Theo, Brenda, and Nathan are with his grandmother. Theo also wrote the coordinates of the time portal on the back of the photo in 1949, so that Oscar and Elena, who were in 1990, could find it. Oscar and Elena realized they needed to travel back to 22-2 to access the correct portal and rescue the three children. Once they reached 1949, everyone would travel to 2270 and send Theo back to 1990. Oscar and Elena first traveled back to 270 and used the coordinates provided by Theo to reach 1949. There, Theo told the members of Grandma's gang that his brother, Oscar, would be coming to pick him up. Two men were already standing there. When they pointed out the whistle Grandma had taught them, Oscar responded by blowing the same whistle, after which Oscar and Elena were taken to Grandma's gang. Elena was overjoyed to see her children in good health, but Theo didn't want to go back. He was happy to be back in 1949. Oscar was deeply saddened by this. He told Theo, "I agree, brother, they fight, but that doesn't mean they don't love each other." He didn't want his younger brother to leave him. Oscar said, "You can't even imagine how much time I've spent crying over you since you left." Just then, their young grandmother arrived. Oscar was surprised to see her, but said nothing. Now they all had to find a time portal to return to 2022. Therefore, a man from the gang was going to drop them off in a car. This man was none other than Oscar and Theo's grandfather. Soon they found a portal to return to 2022. And now Oscar prepared to send Theo back to 1990. They had already found that portal at the construction site. Theo didn't want to go back because he had no one in 1990. He had no parents. He felt very lonely. He told Oscar, "I want to be with you now. You remind me a little of my dad." Oscar lovingly embraced Theo and explained that the Oscar of 19 was also very lonely. He needed Theo there very much. "If you behave well, I promise that my younger version will take great care of you." Despite his reluctance, Theo went back to 1990. Oscar was overjoyed at his return, and his grandmother loved him dearly. When Theo was asked where he was, he told her a false story. He had been kidnapped by a gang. Disturbed and confused by Theo's departure, Oscar began to believe that perhaps their mother had truly left them, and in frustration began throwing away her books. However, Theo arrived and told Oscar the entire story of his time travel. He even showed Oscar his phone from 2022. Oscar didn't fully believe his story, but after seeing the phone, he couldn't resist. The two brothers decided never to use the time portal again, and promised to live happily in the present. Now, in 2022, the two brothers were together. As the doorbell rang, Theo teased Oscar, saying, "Your girlfriend Elena must be here." Theo told Oscar to tell him what was in his mind, as she was already divorced. Theo deliberately withheld this information from Oscar earlier, because if he had done so, Elena's children would never have been born, and Elena's life would have been completely changed, which he had promised he wouldn't change. But now was the perfect time. The children were born, the divorce was over. As Oscar opened the door, Elena was standing outside, and this could mark a turning point in their lives. Finally, the scene shifts to a very distant time. A portal opened, and a woman emerged from it. This time is very ancient, and people know nothing about science. This woman is none other than Theo and Oscar's mother. She is revealed to be a scientist, teaching people about science, which could bring about profound changes in the future. The story ends here. So, in your opinion, should Theo have convinced his brother to talk to the girl earlier? Maybe the divorce would never have happened, and they would have lived happily ever after. Do let us know in the comments. See you on the next video.